welcome to Let's Bring Them In. My name is Ben DeHart. I'm an up-and-coming marketing rock star.
I am Evan Klein. I'm a former Academic Economics Scholarship Award winner.
And I am Derek, the Knight of Ethics.
That's right, Derek. Just keeping us nice and ethical as we give our branding advice to the brands that need it.
That's right. Every now and then you have to sit down and think, hey, is it ethical? And that's where you
Most
come
of the
in.
time it is, but that small portion of time when it's not is when I'll really start to shine.
That's right.
Exactly. I don't think you've really had to rein us in yet. I think most of our ideas have been pretty above board. We try to get practical advice that people can put into practice, the very next day.
Absolutely.
That's right. Advice is nothing if it's not practical. It's kind of like the concept of science. It's not good if you can't explain it to everyone. Which is an absolute lie, because the only point of science is to be able to hold it over other people's heads as facts that are merely ideas that are complex and not really practical to seem smarter.
Indeed. Let's not impede the rise of the intelligentsia. Also, dildo fart.
Nice. That's classic. That reminds me of a tweet I saw once, and it was like, Twitter is perfect because we can put words in new combinations that have never been seen before and push the English language to boundaries that were once unthought of, and then put a colon, and then it said moth piss.
My brain, every time I walk into a room, don't say it, 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 don't say it. Boy, this party really died.
Nice. No, we actually figured this out what you need to say to really, if you ever get into like an awkward position at a party, you just sidle up to somebody outside the bathroom or next to the keg and say, "Are the troops getting sexier?"
That's right.
Yeah.
Callback to our true fans out there, all of you.
I seriously think
such a
that's
good episode.
An unbeatable opener.
It's pretty good. It kind of gives the other person a heads up as far as how this conversation's going to go.
And what's the trajectory that you're aiming for? Are the troops getting sexier? Or is it more of a political thing? Is it more of like, I don't even know.
Oh my gosh, you noticed too?
Yeah, you kind of automatically either have to match their energy or try to back them down or just let them, go off king.
God, I'm the kind of person who tends to match people's energy in general, just because I guess that's kind of how I operate. So if somebody came up to me and was like, "Boy, howdy, the troops are getting sexy," I'd be like, "Are they? That sounds crazy."
I think I would say I would probably look them in the eyes and say, I thought I was the only one who noticed.
I am so happy you found me at this party.
This has been a penchant of mine that I haven't been able to get out, and finally someone is ready to talk about it with me. Or I
wasn't confident enough to be the one person who thought the troops were getting sexier over time. But here you are, and here I am. Let's talk about this.
All right, guys. So we're about to hit Christmas. This is our Christmas episode.
That's right. And for all those haters out there that didn't think we could make it to Christmas, we made it to Christmas.
Mm-hmm. We even skipped an episode. We're going to release this episode later, but it heavily featured Stanley. So poorly timed. R.I.P. to the big guy.
Yep. So that being
Hero
said,
of heroes.
Please, if you want any other elderly famous people to be dead, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us what old famous person you want us to talk about, because apparently we have that curse.
What elderly beloved icon can we destroy?
Yep.
Don't even say anything
Sir
as a
Ian
joke.
McKellen.
No, I hate you.
Didn't we talk about Margaret Atwood? And I think she's still
Yeah, we talked about her. But...
Yeah, but we also made a joke about didn't make a joke. Ben, you thought she was dead.
I asked if she was, because I was not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe for the curse to work, they have to be nonagenarians.
Oh.
Okay. So, like, anyone 89 and below is safe. It's just if you're 90 plus, we better not talk about you on the podcast.
How old is Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Stop.
How dare you?
No one wants that. But anyway,
how old is the Queen?
How old is the Queen?
I don't know.
She's like in her 90s. She's been
Oh
ruling
shit!
for like
Everyone, clam up, clam up.
The queen is bae.
But maybe it isn't nonagenarians. Like I that sounds like dangerous waters. Maybe
it's just Marvel comic creators.
I don't know any others.
Then I think we're safe.
I think
We
we're
did
good.
it.
Nice.
The curse
Well,
has
you
been
guys did
fulfilled.
it. Hey, I wasn't even part of the show at that point.
Well, you are now, so you're culpable to whatever happens after this point.
You are an accessory.
Dang it.
But
So-
sorry, we're getting away from the good vibes of Christmas that we're needing to share with everyone.
Glad tidings, Yule logs.
Welcome to the Tinsel Boys show. I'm Tinsel Boy.
Happy holidays.
I'm Mistletoe.
Oh my gosh. And I'm Ornament Guy.
Tinsel Boy, Mistletoe, and Ornament Guy.
Nice.
Oh, dang it.
We're all here to meet your mom.
That's right. And eat the best of the cookies that you have made, because we know there's some stinkers.
By the time you're listening to this, Hanukkah will be over, so Mazel. Hope it was alright.
Hope it wasn't too tough on you.
Nice. That's a pretty good one. Oh wait, I got one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going great so far, buddy.
Ornament Guy?
Menorah.
And this has just been a great example of some of the highbrow comedy you can expect going forward from Let's Bring Them In. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you are telling your friends about the podcast, because this high level of humor cannot be topped, no matter where you look in the market. It's just, you just can't get away from the humor that we bring to the table. Anyway.
Evan just had a little too much Manischewitz, so we'll just keep going.
Adam Sandler.
Okay, that's plenty. I think we should get into what we were hoping to rebrand today. And just to give people a little bit of background into why I'm doing this and why I think we should do this.
Wait, Ben, let's see if the listeners can guess. Let's give a few hints. Obviously, they can't guess. We are not idiots. We know that you can't communicate to us in real time, but we're going to give hints that we think are funny.
And we're also going to work on that.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a good hint, Evan?
Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Ooh.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've got one. It's not exactly related to Christmas, but it is related to our topic.
Okay.
Where is she?
God damn it, that's where I was going.
Nice.
Shit.
Nice.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay,
I
okay,
apologize.
Hold on. I got this. I'm Harry. Just Harry.
That's a good one.
Nice. Okay, so listeners, we'll give you 5 seconds. Feel free to pause. Unpause. Okay, Ben, what are we chatting up about today?
Obviously famous Marvel creators.
That's right. Harry Potter, Batman, and Tiny Tim.
Nope, Oliver Twist.
Oh. Oh, all right. I
Yeah,
guess this
yeah,
was great. I enjoyed my time on the podcast.
Let's just play them off. I'm gonna play the "You're Welcome to Leaving the Show" song. Boop.
All right, so this week we are going to chat it up about Orphans, which is just in time for the holiday season. Everyone's thinking about gifts that they have to give for each other, and it's a little inconvenient because, you know, when you see things that you think would be nice to give or get, you think about yourself first, and orphans don't have to think about anyone else. It's pretty much just their show. So Christmas is both the best and worst times for orphans.
Exactly. So the reason I brought the idea of rebranding Orphans up to the team is I started to think about like the famous Christmas movies we all know and love, and a good hefty majority of them feature orphans.
It's true.
Orphans used to be a hot button issue back in the 20s when people couldn't afford to have kids. And now everyone can afford to have kids, thankfully. So we have a lot of kids, and they all are pretty much claimed for the most part. So
Yeah, in fact, there's little to no room for a Daddy Warbucks to sweep in and into their local poorly run orphanage and grab a lucky redheaded child and
you know what?
take them on to
I
greatness.
want that one.
I miss the days when you could scoop up local orphans and now you got to go abroad and pick up these international orphans.
No, for real. Remember when they tried to remake Annie, and people were like, and people were up in arms. They were up in arms about the wrong thing. The issue is there's no orphanages in America anymore.
Yes.
Like, they acted like there are still orphanages, and there aren't. There's foster homes. They've changed it now.
Yeah, bring back orphanages. Orphanages?
So
orgies.
Orphanariums.
Let's circle back to orphan orgies.
Yeah, it's orphan orgies, right?
Oh, see, I tried to gloss over that one. I just kind of heard it and said,
Yeah, little orphan orgy.
I'm shooting from all cylinders, boys.
You are.
To be fair, you could be of adult age and still have an orphan orgy.
Well, I think technically if you are alive, won't you eventually someday probably be an orphan?
Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly.
You hope to become an orphan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You hope every person should eventually hope to become an orphan.
Yeah, you don't want your parents to go after you.
What if your parents get cryogenically frozen? Are you still an orphan if they're suspended in animation?
No, you're not. They're still alive, so you're not an orphan. You don't count. You don't get to be an orphan like the rest of us.
That makes sense.
Do you think you get a tax?
Left out.
Do you get a tax write-off if you're an orphan?
I think so.
Interesting question.
Yeah, because that's how Bruce Wayne could afford to make his Batcave.
Well, yeah, it's so much money because he was like an orphan from literally like the time he was, I don't know, like 10 years old on.
Yeah, you don't see many memories before he was an orphan, so apparently before he could form solid memories.
True.
So the reason I bring this up in general is because you guys are right. Orphanages are key to Christmas spirit. So we need to bring them back in order to truly experience joy.
They're kind of the yin to the yang, I would say.
Exactly. And like, I don't think anyone truly enjoys foster homes. I mean, everyone's too busy. There's too many kids. It's too loud.
And everything that you see about a foster home is they're kind of corrupt.
Exactly. And on the top of that, you don't get the pity anymore. That's so essential to being an orphan.
Very true. Also, foster homes are basically just hostels. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Hostels for the underage.
Yep. Orphanages were like frat parties, frat houses.
I don't see
young kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any. Honestly, I think that's a pretty perfect metaphor. I don't really see any discernible difference between the two.
Thank you. I like to think that orphanages would be similar to the movie Holes when they're at the summer camp.
My gosh, I love that movie, and that is a perfect example.
Yep. About as opposite of Christmas as it can get due to the hot weather and the holes.
Right.
But it's ideal.
You got nicknames for each other, a bunch of kids hanging out all the time, limited rules.
Orphanages, if you get a nickname in an orphanage, that stays for life. That's a fact.
Yeah. Sleeping on cots.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we know you wanted to adopt this child originally named Billy, but he did earn the name Pencil Penis while he was here. So unfortunately, that has to go on the birth certificate.
It's not It's not a legal change, but he will not respond to anything else.
Okay, so that young boy over there, I think you said his name was Steven. What is his new name? Does he have a new name too, or is he just Steven?
Oh, Steven? Yeah, his new name is Crust Eater because he's the only child here that will eat crust. So, and then some of the boys have created a new nickname. That's not why
he's called Crust Eater.
Oh, man. Do you think there's one child who stays in the orphanage for life because he's the one who makes the nicknames?
No, because they age out and they're thrown into the street at age 18.
That's true.
No.
What about
that 17-year-old who gets cryogenically frozen and they unfreeze him to just say, hey, what's this one called?
Seconds at a time.
Big toots.
All right, back in the freezer you go.
Cream of mushroom soup.
You know, for the last 9 different times we've unfrozen him, he just keeps saying food. I think he's hungry.
All right, next time we unfreeze him for like a whole minute, let him eat, and then ask him.
Do you think orphanages would be a happier place and could be revamped if it was Christmas there all the time?
I think so, and it would encourage, I think, more people to adopt, because I think that is supposedly the main goal of orphanages, is to have the children be adopted.
So, interesting theory, Christmas all the time at an orphanage. First point, where is it Christmas all the time?
North Pole.
Exactly. Who lives at the North Pole?
Elves.
Have you ever seen any elf parents?
Oh,
It's
shit.
one big orphanage. Santa has the biggest orphanage there is,
Oh my gosh.
and it's Christmas all the time.
Except he doesn't let anyone get adopted. He uses them as slave labor.
Whoa. Did you not see the movie Elf where they liked it?
They were so into it. And in that movie, also, Buddy the Elf, he's a freaking orphan.
Yeah.
He's not an orphan. He literally goes to find his father. That's the whole plot of the movie.
He's an orphan in the beginning, Ben.
Okay.
We would be remiss to not mention other famous orphans, such as Like Mike from the movie Like Mike and Stuart Little. So anyways, back to what we were saying, as far as Christmas and slave labor. Orphans, orphans want purpose, right? And usually people find purpose in family. Put them to work, for free.
Okay. Alternatively, what about school? You know where kids go? Because I had this thought.
Kids go to Chuck E. Cheese, idiot, and that's where they meet kids.
I had this thought that, like, what if we had orphanages, but then, like, we had the kids go to school? Because
how do you know the elves didn't go to school, like, when they're not hanging out with Santa all the time?
I think they went to trade school.
Yeah, to learn how to make toys and Xboxes.
Yes. Make me video games.
Do you think there's a trade war going on between, like, the manufacturing countries around the world and the North Pole?
It's kind of hard to deny it.
I think maybe there's an agreement. I mean, it's probably like, yeah, there's absolutely a trade war, or they just, like, they worked something out years and years ago under the rug, like back before anyone really cared about anything. They're like, yeah, Santa, you can just fucking make whatever you want, and as long as you slap our logo on it, it's cool. It's marketing for us.
True.
And now they're like, wait a minute, you get to make all this stuff for who knows what. Like, are you getting paid? Should we be getting a slice of that pie?
Yeah, the
That
issue is I
Christmas
think
pie?
most people haven't been seeing Santa recently is because of all the copyright strikes he's been getting.
That's
Right.
true.
So he's getting
Right.
slammed down in legalese. So, like, the people nowadays can't see a good Christmas cheer because he every day, even Christmas Day, he's out in the courts.
Also,
Damn
after
legalese.
Subway Jared's big jeans, being fat's no longer cool. So,
Good point. Good
That is
point.
very true.
Subway Jared
Santa.
ruined Christmas.
He ruined a lot.
Yep.
Again, back to the idea of, like, okay, we reestablish orphanages. We could just put them to work sweatshop style, which, I mean, if we look at every futuristic movie, that's what they do with children. So maybe that's just an inevitability.
It kind
But-
of, yeah, it's smart.
But if our goal is to maybe, as Derek is Knight of Ethics, try and
Right,
get
we
these
probably
children.
shouldn't put him to work.
Yeah, maybe we should attempt to get these children adopted and go to the letter of the law rather than, like, the inevitable just make them slave labor.
Right.
So I had that thought of, like, what if we have them go to school? We reestablish orphanages, take them away from foster homes, make them go to school, and that way, when they get invited over to Billy's house, they kind of just stay there.
Ooh, I like
They go
it.
on a play date and never come back.
No take backsies.
Yes, exactly.
What-
It's kind of like the fine print of school now, is if you take one of those kids home, they're yours.
That's
now.
yours.
They just while
And
they're
you can't
hanging
give
out,
them back.
hanging out and playing, they're just always like, "Yeah, my mom's coming to pick me up later." She never comes, but they're happy.
And then if Billy's like, "Hey, can we go over to your house?" They're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Actually, if a child does enter the orphanage, they become an orphan legally now.
That's
Oh my
true.
gosh. So, like, if you're a parent and you've got like a shit kid, you want to get rid of him, just send him on a play date with a kid to the orphanage. Boom.
Yep. It's
They're an
immediate.
orphan. They're gonna be somebody else's problem someday.
That's right.
Immediately, yeah.
Maybe even yours if they avenge their hatred for their
Right.
parents.
I think then we're entering a zone where orphanages become more like libraries,
Oh, where you can
Where-
rent them.
where you can rent out
Absolutely.
children.
That's a good idea for family
There's no
pictures.
late fees. You just, if you like it, you can have it.
Right.
Just like the regular library.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ever wonder what it was like to have an athlete?
Now you can. Get bored of it? Take him back.
Maybe rent a theater nerd. I don't know.
Oh, this athlete's broken. I'm bringing him back.
I want a popular kid.
This one kind of smells bad. Just naturally.
This
Do you
one
have
is
anything a little shorter?
This one's getting super emo, and I'm just not having it.
This one's getting really clingy, and I just wish he would stop, you know? So, bye-bye. Have you guys seen the movie Orphan?
Yes.
I have not.
Is it good?
Do you know about what happens in the movie? Any of it?
It's a little old, so I feel like we won't run the risk of spoilers if you talk about it.
In case you're
hearing
concerned for spoilers,
about it. Yeah. Spoiler
this
alert.
family adopts this girl. Yes, sorry, forgot to say the big part of that. This family adopts a girl, and she's kind of weird, and she doesn't really behave like a girl that her age is supposed to behave, and she's like hitting on the dad all the time, and like being super like uncomfortably sexual, and it's like, is this dad gonna like bang this orphan girl that they adopted? Like, what is going on?
She looks like Wednesday from
yeah,
Family
she
Guy.
does.
Okay, nice.
That should have been the plot of Annie.
Yeah, it
That
probably should have,
Annie
except
was gonna bang Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah.
that's more like the
Dangerous.
plot of Pretty Woman.
Is it?
No, but
Does he adopt a Pretty Woman?
no, but he kind of does. He's like, oh, I'll just pay for you to live with me all the time, and you don't have to be a prostitute anymore. And she's
Nice.
like, But anyways, in The Orphan, the big twist is that this little girl is actually like 40 years old, and she just looks like a little girl still. And so she keeps getting like adopted by these families, and she tries to sleep with the husbands because she's not satisfied sexually because
kill
she
them?
looks like a girl. And then like that, there's like a big fight, and she tries to kill everybody. And
I was gonna say, I
Does she
thought this
kill
was a horror
everybody
movie.
all the time?
yeah, it is. So it's like creepy that she's like trying to bang the husband, and it's not like, I don't know, just weird. It's like, oh, she's trying to
I
bang
think
the
that's
husband.
the plot of almost all Japanese anime, is that the girl who looks like they're 12 is actually a few thousand years old.
Nice.
So it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's
yeah,
fine.
right.
It's
just
fine.
Like,
it's fine.
pretty normal.
You guys are the
fine.
ones being weird, not us, who picture a 1,000-year-old person in a 12-year-old body.
Yeah, she's actually much more mature than you. You just don't know because
Yeah.
your mind is so close.
Yeah, you don't understand. You don't get it.
If you actually understood the context of the story, you would feel ashamed of yourself for thinking it's weird.
Yeah, honestly, egg on your face. Yeah, so Orphan. Not how normal
so,
orphans
like,
are.
So like with the orphanage library concept, are we still trying to get the orphans adopted? Is that the end goal, or is the end goal for them to just be happy?
Is there
In
a
the
way
library.
you get stuck with a kid? Like, so we try and...
Like
and,
hot potato?
yeah, like at a certain point, I think there needs to be some stability in a kid's life. So
yeah,
maybe
it'll
if
be like a white elephant.
you're like the fifth caller or something, and you could... This is like, you know what? I'm feeling like a fat kid for like just Tuesday. And then he's like, oh, you're the fifth kid who had this one. You're stuck with fat kid forever.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I feel terrible for saying all of those words.
Can
every
these-
word I just said.
Well, here's the thing. This episode is truly just to test Derek's ability to
Right.
control
And
us
so
ethically.
we shouldn't say fat kid. We should
Obese?
just say. We should just say
Husky.
still growing.
I think they've grown enough.
No. Like
I think we should
every
call
kid
him-
starts out with like baby weight, so they're just still growing out of the baby weight.
So we Willy Wonka him really tall.
Mm-hmm.
These,
Mm-hmm.
we'll call him malleable.
Yes. So you get stuck
Do you
with
have
a
something
malleable
more
child.
malleable?
Do you have a
Oh
child
my god.
who is...
Oh my god. No, sorry. This is it. We have an Olivander who is running the orphanage. And as you walk in, he says, the orphan chooses the parent.
Ooh,
Wow.
Me gusta.
Yeah. So I guess we'll be billing you orphanages
Is there
everywhere.
an elder wand of orphans?
12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Malleable. Smart. Goss.
Springy.
Oh, but Elder
Yeah.
Wand of Orphans at this point, that's a really good question.
That's such a good question.
Okay, well,
You gotta hit
here,
the
let's
lottery.
Let's spend our
Like a
time
kid.
talking about what we would want in an orphan.
Okay. Super smart.
Yeah, look at
No,
all the famous
can't-
orphans.
Can't be smarter than me.
Well, it can't be smarter than you, but can still be smart for an orphan.
No. I think they have to be like uber genius because all those stories about like kids that are like adopted or whatever, they're either really smart or they have superpowers like Matilda.
Matilda's my
adopted?
favorite superhero.
Matilda would have fucking broke Infinity War. She was there.
True. Let me think. I think I'd want a dumb one. I think I'd want a dumb orphan. That'd be funny.
Would you want them to be talented or untalented? Like completely average or like super excelling in one area? Like Annie, she could sing like an angel.
I think I'd want them to be coachable.
Okay.
Evan, you don't want an Elder Wand child. You
want-
this is not an Elder Wand child.
Your child is Hawthorne, 9 3/4 inches.
It's got some
pliable.
twigs you're just gonna snap off.
Yeah.
I think you guys are haters.
I think that we're trying to
No.
create an Elder Wand child.
Okay,
here.
well,
You're-
I want my
because this is
child to
perfect.
genetically become a superhuman with strength. But
All
they
right.
have to prove that they want it.
I was going to say the orphan chooses the parent, and there's a perfect match out there for everyone, but you just want like an Incredible Hulk child.
Yes.
I think he wants an Incredible Hulk that he can still beat up.
I want a child who will respect me.
Don't all parents?
Hey, this year for Christmas, I want a little bit of that RESPCT from my child.
All right, Evan, here's your Elder Wand.
Okay.
You have a child that turns into a super strong superhero, not as smart as you.
Thank you.
And whenever they get near you, they kind of lose their superpowers, and you just like can put out your cigarettes on their skin, and they get real sad.
Okay, I'm gonna pump the brakes on putting out cigarettes on orphans. I think that hits a little too home for maybe anybody, but definitely somebody out there.
I'm just trying to access what is the best orphan.
I don't
for
want a
Evan
Goodwill
here.
Hunting. I don't want that. I don't want that
No.
situation.
And see, I was thinking Goodwill Hunting would be kind of like the primo or Elder Wand orphan.
I don't want to hit my kid with a wrench.
Well, that's Dodgeball. It's a different movie.
And
Well, no, that
nobody
was-
should hit their kids with a wrench, just for the listener out there. Whether you're listening on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Podbean, any of our platforms, don't hit your kids with any tool.
Thank you,
Nice.
Knight of Ethics. That
Thank
was
you, Derek.
quite wonderful. A great
You're
plug.
welcome.
I
That was-
appreciate it.
Very apt. Okay, well, fine. If you guys are going to insult my decision for how I would like to mold my child, which
No, you
I'm
just- we're not insulting you. We're just trying to figure out what it is. And I think what you want is you want a mutant child with you being the Jimmy Leach, if you remember X-Men The Last Stand.
yes.
His mutation was canceling out everybody else's mutation. So you want like a superstar kid that when they get too close to you, they're like, "Oh, you're my dad."
In a happier voice than that, but yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you're my dad.
There it is.
Ideal. Thank you. Okay, so
Actually, guys, I'm not gonna lie. That felt really good to say. You're my dad.
nice.
You're my Evan. You're my
You're
dad.
you're my dad.
You're my dad.
That's
Evan,
impossible.
You're my dad. Okay, Benjamin.
What's my Elder Wand?
Yep.
Child?
Elder Wand orphan.
Well, I don't know if I want one as like. I don't think I'm going at all in the same direction you are.
Good.
Because I think Derek nailed it down. What you wanted pretty good. I think Derek had exactly what you want.
Yes.
That's why I'm here.
So I think what I would want out of a child, that I would adopt out of Olivander's orphanage. I think I agree with Evan that it's like moldable. I would want to
Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. Instead of saying it, can we say they?
The child. No, just the child.
Or the
'cause they-
child?
I would
Yeah,
like
plural.
the child.
Okay, the child. Well, they can be singular.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm gonna say
true,
the child.
technically.
I do like saying the child because it's weirdly creepy.
All right, perfect. Say the child.
The one that is
so-
chosen.
So I would like the child to be. God, it is real creepy to say. So I would like the child to fight me every day. And I will just demolish them every day.
In hand-to-hand combat?
In hand-to-hand combat. And also, we will spar mentally as we do so, until one day, they defeat me. And as they stand over me, hesitating to pull the next punch, I pull out like a big like stick and just whack them across the face, and I say no hesitation. And that'll be the last time I fight them, and they have learned their final lesson.
So you just want the experience that every parent wants for their child to eventually surpass them and best them.
Yeah, but I feel like all parents are kind of pussyfooting around it. I have yet to like fight my dad on daily almost mortal combat until I eventually defeat him. I think I eventually just like kind of as he grew older and more feeble, just surpassed him through time. Which I think is kind of cop out.
Yeah, it's not
right.
as cool.
I think that is kind of the trajectory for most parents these days. Is like, yeah, I'll get old eventually, and then they can beat me up, but they probably won't because they'll know better.
That's why we haven't had any cool wars lately.
Yeah, it's always been these stupid wars.
Stupid wars rebellions
with drones. I take it back. I want my child to be a drone.
Not a drone expert, an actual drone.
Yep, I want a drone to be my orphan.
Olivander pulls a box out of the shelves and says, "And this child is it's actually just a rope control, and here's your drone."
Interesting.
No, it's
very interesting.
It's a drone with no remote control because it's sentient.
Oh my god!
It's just an AI in a drone.
Yep.
And it just starts flying, and it's like it's
Father.
What would you like me to do today?
Something like that.
I don't know. I'm feeling like a bombing run would be good. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, and then pick me up some beer for free.
Bomb the local gas station and find whatever bottles aren't broken and bring them back here.
That'd be pretty cool. And then if someone gets mad about me flying a drone, I'll say, "How dare you? This is my child."
Yeah.
And also, how can I fly a drone with no hands?
Dun, dun, dun.
That'd be pretty good. What if someone shoots my child?
For the listener, Evan doesn't have any hands anymore.
It's true. And if someone shoots your child, I mean, isn't that the greatest fear of all parents?
No, because then, so if someone shoots your child, do you become Batman?
I think.
Or, go ahead.
No, I mean, what's a famous character that's lost their children and gone on a rampage?
Theoden. No parent should have to bury their child.
See, I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about when losing your parents before you die or before they die or you die. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. But we've talked about Lord of the Rings so much recently, I decided to not.
I guess I'm still learning.
Not enough.
No, I'm glad you did it because I liked it.
Thanks. It's just the first parent that I think about who lost a child.
Yeah, I guess
we have a lot of orphan stories, not a lot of I'm a parent and I lost my child story.
I guess John Wick would count.
Yeah. True, he's a superhero.
Though, like, the only issue with picking John Wick is that he didn't go on a rampage because he lost his child. No, he didn't lose his child. He just lost his wife.
And his dog.
Yeah, his dog was his actual child. His dog was his baby.
Yep. Wonder I pushed that one out.
He didn't. He got it at a box from Olivander's orphan shop.
Okay. Derek, what about you?
My elder wand child?
Yes.
Well, I think, like you, I would want them to start out not as smart as me, but pretty damn smart. And then eventually I would want them to become smarter than me. Like, once I passed on all my wisdom like the giver, like, here's everything I know. Go learn more. And I guess I'd want them just to be, like, cool as hell.
So, like the giver, every time you impart a piece of information onto them, you also lose it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I think, like, I can just give them, like, first I'll start out with, like, cool shit, like, oh, have you ever seen a mountain before? Like, have you ever felt the wind on your face?
Derek, hold on. The moment you start giving away all the cool shit in your life, the less cool you become.
Well, I'm not going to give them, like, all the cool shit. I'm going to start with cool shit so then I can give them all, like, the shit.
Yeah. Don't tell them about bayonets.
Yeah.
Just like, bayonets are red as hell.
Bayonets are so cool. It's a sword.
Then, like,
it's a gun sword.
It's a gun sword, yeah.
That's badass.
And then like I'll save like all the coolest shit for like the
Katanas.
last thing that katanas, like
Kingdom
fucking
Hearts.
flaming arrows, like Game of Thrones. I'm gonna save Game of Thrones till like the very end.
Yes.
Like, and here you go, my child. Learn from everything, and then I'll just like dissolve into the ether as I give away the coolest parts of me.
That's a great strategy, because I was like, if you give away all the cool shit first, you're gonna end up an evil husk, and then you won't want to give away those parts of you, so that'll leave you an evil villain, and
But
then
if you
they will be
give
a
them
good
all
hero.
the evil shit first, they'll be the villain, and I don't want them to be the villain.
Yeah, so a balanced approach to parenthood is, I think, what we're suggesting here.
I want my child to be like Neo from The Matrix.
Did Neo
drone
have
Neo?
parents?
Neo didn't have parents. That's canon.
Nice.
I should adopt Keanu Reeves from The Matrix.
I'll
cool.
adopt Keanu Reeves from John Wick.
And I'll adopt Keanu Reeves from Bill and
Little
Ted's
Buddha.
Excellent Adventure. Oh, from Little Buddha, good call.
Yep, adopt him from
I want Little Buddha Keanu Reeves.
I think
He's
I've seen
the
that.
perfect receiver to my giver.
I know. I watched that. I know. I watched the whole thing in Honors World History.
Yep, I was there with you.
I was there with you as well, and I watched the whole thing since then, too.
How?
Really?
It's 4 hours.
It's so long.
I found it on Netflix one day in college, and I was like, yeah, I really want to watch this. And then I started watching it. I was like, is this ever going to end? No? I guess I'm just going to keep watching.
It's stupid.
Lama Dorje.
Stupid, dumb, long.
Scorsese's Little Buddha.
Wait, Scorsese did Little Buddha?
No, he's just known for overly long escapades.
Yeah, you're right. I can't believe I fell for that.
But goddamn, can you imagine that movie?
That'd be
Scorsese's Little Buddha.
probably wild. I hope Keanu Reeves reprises his role.
So I think we've sort of like solved it for orphans, which I took us less time to get there than I thought, which is just
Yeah,
great.
like the biggest solution is just to get a kind old Olivander
to like prescribe you a child.
to match your child to you.
I
But
don't know
holy
how
holy
easy.
shit.
Go ahead.
I just thought about something.
Yeah.
Has any wizard tried to just use 2 wands at once? Because I was like, what if you had more than one kid? And then I was like, what if you had more than one wand? Like dual wielding wands?
General Grievous style?
Right.
Holy shit.
Time to add another wand to my collection.
Well, okay. Saruman had 2 staffs at one time when he was
Did he ever
fighting
use
Gandalf.
them at the same time? Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did, yeah. In Orthonk.
Yep.
Like immediately, he just snagged that shit.
Orthonk? I thought that was just an Isengard.
Oh, yeah, that's Isengard, isn't it? Orthonk's in
no,
Mordor.
Orthanc is the Tower of Isengard.
Okay.
Oh, see?
Nice. Yeah.
Hell yeah, I read the book.
Barad-dûr is the tower you're thinking of in Mordor.
Barad-dûr.
Barad-dûr.
I'm gonna cut that out because we've talked about Lord of the Rings too many goddamn times.
Or not enough.
Have we been getting negative feedback?
No, it's just Jess over there that keeps telling me keep talking about goddamn Lord of the Rings.
You know,
Well, what does she think our friendship was formed on?
That's
Yeah.
a good point, Jess. What do you think our friendship was
for
formed
the
on?
for the listeners, we went to all of the premieres of The Hobbit at midnight with
We
Lambus
did.
That's
bread.
what we did.
Lambus bread?
I made the lambus bread one year. I think we each took a turn.
Yeah,
making lambus
we each
bread.
took a year.
I'd
And it was all good.
I never made it.
Oh,
Oh.
I made it once for sure.
Yes,
Yeah, maybe I made it for you, Evan. I don't know.
I can't. I don't recall. Regardless,
All right, so I've got the answer to the can a wizard use multiple wands question.
Mm-hmm.
It happens in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And it looks like Harry takes his chance. He leaps over an armchair and wrestles 3 wands from Draco's grip, points all of them at Fenrir Greyback, and yells "Stupefy."
So he
werewolf
just
was-
did a big old wand cannon?
Yeah.
Not like a dual wield?
No, the werewolf was lifted off his feet by the triple spell,
What the
flew
fuck?
up into the ceiling, and then smashed to the ground.
Why didn't they use that on Voldemort?
I know. So it looks like the wands, using all 3 of them at once, made the spell stronger. And later in the book, we find out that it's because he took them from their previous owner, that they all had allegiance to him.
Why didn't they just fucking do that all the time? Yeah, Olivander, 1-1's great, but why don't you give me a big fucking tree trunk?
ooh. So here's the thing. I feel like in the Deathly Hallows, they make such a big deal out of dueling and winning someone's wand,
Yeah.
and it was so out of left field.
they literally introduced and made that a core concept of the story within that story itself. It's true.
Yeah.
What's your major criticism of that, you think?
I mean, it's just so simple, like to say like, oh yeah, and if you like win it from someone, it's yours and it's more powerful then, and that's it. And it's just
It's like smack someone in the nose,
Yeah.
take their little stick and say, I'm the wizard now.
yeah, well, I mean, so like the invisibility cloak, just to talk about the Deathly Hallows, like the invisibility cloak was canon, like everyone knew about that. Like, and the resurrection stone was downplayed like hell. Like that was like, oh yeah, whatever, it's not that cool. And then the Elder Wand was romanticized, and it was just, I didn't like it very much because it was like, why is this so cool? It's just one powerful wand when like...
It would have made a little bit more sense if in like during the dueling club in Chamber of Secrets, if they were like, by the way, if you use this spell and you catch their wand, it'll like listen to you and it'll be super freaking cool. Like give it back to them because we're in school, but like in real life, you can just have that wand and they'll be super fucked.
If
Do you think, oh my god, if that happened in like, if they told people that in Chamber of Secrets, the rest of the books would have been buck wild.
Kids just trying to take each other's wands like
all the time.
Expelliarmus, I've got your wand. Sucks to suck, crab. You're gonna fucking fail every class now.
I'm a useless wizard now.
my name's... Who's Klutz? Is it Dean or is it Seamus? Seamus is the Klutz.
Neville Longbottom.
Yeah, he like explodes all the time.
And the thing is, though, like in oh my gosh, in the Sorcerer's Stone, Seamus is the Klutz. Neville's just a nerd.
Yeah,
Seamus is the one that like explodes things on himself all the time.
He explodes his face like in every single book.
Well,
I think.
in the movies, and he does that like once in the book, but like Neville's the one where they're constantly like, Neville fell over, Neville lost his toad. Neville got scared when Malfoy touched his little sides and yelled jumper cables.
Ooh, Neville glowed up. Neville drip season. Neville's a hunk.
Neville goes to the army. Neville goes to camp. Neville scared stupid.
Are you just naming Ernest movies?
Yes.
Nice.
Neville and the scared stupid. Oh my god, that's what all the Harry Potter books are, but just from Neville's perspective.
That's true. Can you? I like that like the House Cup is a big deal in the first movie.
Yeah.
And Neville gets 50 points.
He's the reason they freaking win.
No, wait. He gets 10 points, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's the 10 that carries him over the edge because Dumbledore was a freaking player and he planned it so that it was like, and the best points go to Neville Longbottom for
Though, to be
sticking
fair,
it up against
he
his
could have
friend.
just said 1 point and it would have been the same fucking deal.
Yeah, it should have only been 1 point because he got stupefied so fast.
Yeah, I would have given you more points, Neville, but you lost the fight.
Yep. Neville,
also, give your wand to Hermione. She's earned it.
Neville, I will award you 5 points, but everyone from Gryffindor gets to hit you with a bag filled with bars of soap. Like a Code Red situation.
Just like one really good hit. Just
Yep.
Sorry, Neville.
Didn't the boys take Gilderoy Lockhart's wand from him?
They did.
Yeah, but they broke it.
They broke it.
Oh, no. Never mind. I'm thinking of Ron's.
Yeah, Ron
wand.
took it.
It was broken.
Yeah, and then
so-
he used it for the rest of that like little arc, but then he was like, "Oh, I gotta get a new wand. Mine's shit."
No, he could have just kept that shit.
He should
Yeah,
have.
but
and
that
because like,
wand wasn't
what's
very
Lockhart
good.
gonna use with it?
That's
Yeah.
true. Might have been a shit wand.
It's probably
That's
not. I mean,
true.
he was a bad wizard, so.
Just like an orphan. I guess that we're gonna extend that to orphans. If you defeat an orphan's owner or parent, you get to keep the orphan.
What if you break, similar to Ron, what if you break your orphan? Can you tape it with Spello tape?
And then does it start acting goofy?
Yeah.
It'll be shit from then on. Just like if you break your child, it'll act like crap for the rest of ever.
What about a situation where there are twins and you get one and somebody else gets the other? Are those like going to be connected and are you going to like clash with that parent all the time?
You will
Undeniably.
eventually have to defeat that parent in combat.
Yeah.
And kill them.
And once
Or
you
they'll
have
kill
both
you.
twins, then you will be unbeatable.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And invisible if you want. And if it's triplets, you can bring back the third. You can bring back dead people if you want.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. But if there's 4 of them, you're cursed.
Yeah, that's actually why Count Olaf was after the Baudelaire triplets. He wanted the undead, the Deathly Hollows
Yeah.
of children. Oh shit!
Nice,
Sorry,
Ben.
correction. The Baudelaires
Does,
are not triplets. I
Was
was
that
thinking,
Jess? Does she want to be on the podcast?
Peanut Gallery over there says the
Because
Baudelaires.
it'd be
were not
cool if she
triplets.
wanted to show up and chit chat a little. But no, she doesn't have to. It's all right. I was just spitballing.
Ben, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
And I don't disagree. But to be fair, there were triplets in the series of unfortunate events. I think like Quagmire triplets or whatever.
Yep.
Their names were.
True. What book was that? Do you know? Do you remember?
It was from the shitty orphanage.
Can we go to our Lemony Snicket expert, Jess?
The Austere Academy was actually what it was called, I think.
Oh, wow. I did not read many of them. I was really into the lore of it, though.
I read 3 of them and I was like, ugh, there's just,
Okay.
I don't have time.
Let's go ahead and do all of the names of the Lemony Snicket books by memory.
Good luck, Ben, because I'm out.
No. Evan, we're
Yes.
doing this in order. So the
Yeah.
first one, Derek.
The first one is
And they
a
have to have, like,
series of
alliteration.
unfortunate events. The Oddball Orphanarium.
That makes no sense because they were with Count Olaf in the first one.
Okay.
The Count Olaf kids.
I know what it is.
Count Olaf kids.
I don't know
Second.
the first one.
Okay,
The
I'm
first-
gonna give you guys.
I know the third one. I know the
hold on.
third one for sure.
I'm gonna give you guys a rough plot summary of them, and then you have to come up with the names. So you
All right,
got
perfect.
the
Okay.
Count Olaf kids. Number
like
2,
this.
they're with their good reptile buddy. Evan, go.
Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events. The Salty Snake Pit.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Derek. In the next one, they are in a place by the sea with their shitty aunt.
Whoa. That ant was not shitty. She was eclectic.
Eclectic aunt.
Eclectic. I only because I know the answer to this one. Do you want to come back to me, or do you want me to say the real words?
I don't know the answer to this one, so
A series of
Wait, I got this.
A series of unfortunate. You got it.
Yeah, because I don't remember the
Okay, go ahead,
actual
go ahead.
title of it. So
Go ahead.
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Shrieking Shack. All right. So
Full
the next
circle.
one, I believe,
Whoa.
takes place on a lumber mill.
Mm.
So Derek.
Okay, this one's my turn.
Oh, it's Evan. Okay.
Oh, no,
go
it's
ahead.
Derek's turn because Ben just
Oh,
went.
okay. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
Okay. The very next one is, I think this one is the Academy School one.
Okay.
They go to a school and meet triplets.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events. And man, I love twins.
Yes, exactly.
Like the
That's
Bud
the
Light,
one.
like the Bud Light commercial where they're like, I love football on TV and twins. That one.
Okay.
I mean, that's not. It's in Bud Light commercials, but it's also a song.
I had to look these up because I was losing it. Derek.
Mm-hmm.
This time they're in an apartment building where the lift doesn't work.
Creative.
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. The Roach Motel.
I like it. Okay. Evan.
Yes.
This time, shit, I've skimmed that one. I think they're in a town and the town hates them.
Okay, ready?
Mhm.
Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events. The boys are back in town.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Derek. This time they're in a hospital and it's bad.
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Don't open. Dead inside.
I bet that one's actually a hostile hospital.
Yes, you are correct.
Oh.
Damn, that you actually fucking nailed that shit.
Ah,
Dab on.
shit.
Dab
If
on us.
anyone, eventually one day when we are making a lot of money from sponsors, possibly you, and we need to make a Patreon, you'll get the video from this, and I was dabbing.
He sure was.
Okay, we've only got 5 more to go.
Oh, good. Let's keep going.
So Derek,
How long were these books?
They were
pretty
like
short.
Yeah, like they were like thick, but I think the spacing was
I think
pretty reasonable.
If I remember right, the pages were pretty thick too.
The pages
they
were very thick.
They had that
They were
Yeah, that
serrated
frayed.
edge.
Yeah, they had the frayed
that
endings.
weird edge.
Okay, the
Yeah.
next one is about a carnival, and it's bad.
Oh, of course. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Carn Evil.
Holy shit, that's actually very good.
Oh.
It was indeed called the Carnivorous Carnival. Okay, the next one, they're climbing a mountain and it's shitty.
You ready? A series of unfortunate events. Nepal doesn't deserve freedom.
Oh no! Okay,
As the Knight of Ethics, I just want to say that
I'm
Free Tibet.
I'm gonna dub over this and say like,
I hate Tibet. I hate Tibet. Derek
What is my
Bryan,
role?
I hate Tibet.
Let it be known that we have nothing against Nepal or Tibet.
all right, 3
This is
more.
all just
We can make
good.
this
All right.
the end.
Here we go.
We're writing
Here
a
we go,
book
Derek.
series. Let's go.
This time they're in a submarine and it's shitty.
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Hunt for Red October.
Yes, that is actually true.
Yes!
Count Olaf. What you doing?
Okay. This time they're in another hotel and it's shitty, Evan.
Okay, ready?
Different hotel.
Different hotel.
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. National Treasure 2.
Alternate title, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, I'm Recycling Old Ideas.
Well, good, because this is the last one. This one they're on an island and it's basically Lord of the Flies. I'll allow you both an option here.
Okay, great.
Go ahead, Derek, if you have one.
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Girl Who Owned a City, but on an Island.
Okay, and Evan's submission?
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Maze Runner.
Mm.
You guys are both created better ending titles than the last one, which is simply called the Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, The End.
Oh.
Didn't even keep alliteration in the last
Yeah.
one.
Evil End.
The evil end. The evil end. Just like
The
the evil
endearing end.
elevator.
Oh, how did it end at the end? Like, what was the
Did they
ending?
finally get adopted by not
They-
Count Olaf?
They kill Count Olaf.
Oh, fuck.
How did they kill him?
So they end up on an island, washed ashore. All of their friends are dead, except for Count Olaf.
Epic. Who is undeniably their friend.
At this point, they have learned to love each other. So I haven't read this in like a decade. So they meet a village of Lord of the Flies dudes, and then Count Olaf is like not even the primary antagonist. Everyone kind of hates Count Olaf because he's a shit. And then they poison Count Olaf and he dies, and they shoot him with a harpoon and he dies, and then they take a boat and row out into the sunset after like killing the leader of the tribe that they now hate.
The Baudelaire family was really big. They must have had a lot of sex.
Is that how that works? Do you like inflate like a balloon?
Or were they all orphans? Was every piece of that family just a conglomerate of orphans?
They were all orphans.
So maybe this story just takes place in the future after we fix orphanages.
I love how ambitious that movie was that was released by Nickelodeon Films. They were like, oh, something about starting fires, and there are people who start fires and people who put out fires. And then we didn't get anything. I feel like they had ambitious plans
Is
for
that
that.
with Jim Carrey?
Yes, he was a good Count Olaf. I think he was way better than Neil Patrick Harris. Please don't at me. That was like a
But
bold.
like, comment, and subscribe.
That's right. I feel like they planned like for more movies, and then like when they had to wrap it up at the end, they were like, "Yeah, we're not getting more movies." Like,
Well, maybe they shouldn't have tried to do 3 in 1.
yeah, that was pretty ambitious.
You know what works really well for movie plot lines is
3
to
of
try and work in 9 acts into your show.
It does.
Yeah, that's
dude.
exactly like the opposite of Peter Jackson's method.
Oh wow, yeah, holy cow.
Peter Jackson like just does really long,
Really
Story.
good work.
yes,
Peter Jackson, who is a listener, we respect you.
big fan.
Clearly,
Peter
we
Jackson.
love you. We quote your movies all the damn time.
Yeah, not Tolkien. We quote Peter Jackson.
Token's dead.
Peter Jackson's alive. He can add us.
Yes.
Forever.
Okay, so we kind of got away from Christmas here, but I don't think we got away from the Christmas spirit. I think that's important to remember. So is there anything we should sort of like leave our audience with now that we have sort of like fixed orphans? We found a way to bring back the Christmas spirit back into this cold place of America.
Worst Christmas gift we've ever gotten.
Okay.
If anyone has one off the top, please feel free.
Off the dome.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, if you got one first, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I kind of threw it out hoping someone else would have one. So
Okay.
give me a second. But
I've got one.
okay.
My ex-girlfriend visiting.
Ooh, wow. The hefty burn.
How do you top that?
That's
Yes.
pretty killer.
Everyone gave
my
me,
gosh.
my whole family gave me a lot of shit for being like the first person to bring someone home for Christmas. And it wasn't a good first choice, but I did take first place there.
Who?
No, I'm not gonna say who.
Okay, was
Can
she?
you give us a hint?
Was she?
Nope.
Was she your ex at the time or no?
Not at the time, no.
Okay, that would have been wicked if she was already your ex and you brought her home.
Did
Hey,
she go
mom
to
and
school
dad,
with us?
here's this shitty girl.
She went to school with us, right?
I think I've given you guys enough information. This is supposed to be a more
Okay,
generalized. give
okay, fine, never
experience.
mind. Moving
If
on.
you say so.
Other bad gifts. Let me think.
Man.
Worst gift I've ever gotten. I definitely. Okay, I can't believe it took me this long. One time, my mom. I love her first and foremost. I love her. She loves to give to charity, which I appreciate. Like, I also think charitable donations are important. I've described it before as a great way to manipulate people's opinions of you.
Episode 1, baby.
That's right. So she loves to give to like missionary foundations where like, if you give a certain amount, we'll put a well in a village, stuff like that. So she, one Christmas, gave all of us envelopes of money that we could donate however we wanted. However, I didn't realize that I opened it before she had said, you have to donate this money. So I opened it, saw a wad of cash, and I was like, hell yeah, pimp, this rules. Like, I got a lot of money. And then my mom said, yep, and you have to give it to charity. And I said, no, wait. No, I don't. This is my money. And she said,
Hold
no,
on.
but I gave it to you to give to charity. And I said, well, I don't want to. Why couldn't you just give it to charity and then tell me about it instead of forcing me to give it to charity? And we got into a pretty big discussion, and I was very, very upset.
Oh my god.
That's a pretty
Yes.
shitty gift. That's so.
Yes.
That's such a power move from your mom.
Yeah,
Is
she strong-armed
Wow.
me into charity.
No, hold on. That's a power move from anyone.
Yeah.
Is to like give you a gift and then fully dictate what you do with it.
Yep. To give someone a gift and then say, you must not use this gift in the way you want, but instead how I want it. And
It's not a gift to me,
it's-
is it?
It's kind of, you're a middleman. I've since talked it out with my mom, and we have never done that again. So, and
Hey, I got you this new computer, but you can only use it for Microsoft Excel.
yes,
Oh my
Excel's
God.
pretty wicked.
I was on the Choosing Beggars subreddit, which is a fantastic subreddit.
Oh, that is a good
And
one.
Somebody sold their MacBook to somebody else and asked for it back for no money.
No way.
After selling it to them, and because they didn't know you could do all that stuff with it,
Wait, what do you mean all that stuff?
like editing and stuff with it.
Oh my
So they
God.
could, because when her dad gave it to her, he said she could only use it for internet and like Word documents, and he couldn't download anything, or she couldn't download anything. And so when she sold the Mac, she gave the person she sold it to those instructions as well. You can't download anything. You can only use it for Google. And I think that's so buck wild to me. Where
That's-
you just try to dictate what a person you're selling or giving something to, what they do with it.
Do you
That's
think?
hilarious.
Do you think that she was giving that advice like sincerely, or giving that advice like as a like a caveat? Do you think it was like, hey, like you can only use it for this, or she was like, Yeah, it's a good computer, but
Dude.
Unfortunately, you can't use it for anything other
No,
than.
she was giving her those rules because those are the rules.
You make a good point.
Those are the rules. That's how you operate the computer because those are the rules.
Computer only do internet. It do not do edit.
Oh my gosh. What would you if you adopted an orphan from Olivander's orphanage, what kind of Christmas present would you get for them?
Dumbbells
That makes sense for you.
and heavy books.
I would give them a blunt katana.
To train with?
Exactly.
I'd give them a sharp keyblade.
Derek, what about you?
I mean, I guess I would probably like it would depending on when we adopted them, it would be like, okay, I gave you some happy memories, then I gave you a bunch of shit. And then for Christmas, I'm going to give you like a really good, like not the best memory, but really fucking close.
Here's the first time I had sex.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Listen, I know you're only however old. This is how we're going to have to talk.
What age are you giving to the sex memory?
17.
No. That's too old.
No older than 12.
But I'm giving them the memory. They're going to see it.
Gotta be 12.
Sometimes we have big feelings.
As the Knight of Ethics, I don't know if I can explain that to a 12-year-old.
You don't have to
Well-
explain. It's a gift. Just like you don't. Just like you don't have to tell them what to do with it.
So like
That might be the funniest thing you've ever seen.
then that makes me think that you've gotten gifts. Well, this doesn't make me think. This definitely tells me that you've gotten gifts, definitely from family members that have been things that you haven't wanted. And you said, "Why did you give this to me?" And they said, "Well, don't worry about it. It's yours now." And
No, it's true though. This is life experience.
That's so much clearer in my giver-receiver relationship with my adopted orphan. Like, it doesn't matter. That's yours now. Live with it. Run from it if you have to.
I definitely know that to be like a fact based on the fact that we Ben's family and my family used to do a Christmas party together, and we'd give each other like white elephant gifts. And for a while it was like fun things, but then after a while we were like, all right, we're vamping it up, and we'd give each other like shit gifts, like bad gifts.
Yup.
Like used things on purpose. Like
Yes.
there's this one little stupid green tiger mascot enamel thing that we give to each other just back and forth. And then
Yes. Yeah. That traveled.
one time I gave one of my old Garfield comic books with the comics that I liked with the ears folded down, the pages folded down.
I think I got that.
Yeah, probably. It was probably a good one, dude. Garfield rules.
I definitely read it. I read all those comics.
Oh, man.
We turned those from gift exchanges into white elephants, like Evil Christmas,
Yeah,
pretty quick because we didn't want to get stuck with the shit gifts.
that's true. Oh boy. Okay. So
I bought you an iPod.
I think at one point, like during the office lore when we were still doing the party, someone gave someone something inside of an iPod video box.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. That
That's
definitely
pretty
happened. Epic own.
Derek, before we wrap up, I want to hear what was the worst gift you ever got.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about it, and I'm sure, 100% sure, I've gotten something for Christmas that I, to this day, haven't used, haven't looked at, never wore. I couldn't think of anything like good like that off the top of my head. But one year my mom got me a snake.
Like a big old snake?
It wasn't big yet. It was like a juvenile California albino banded king snake. And like with the terrarium and like some
Terrariums
like-
are stinky.
It was, yeah, and it like had the heat lamp so that it didn't get frozen and die in the wintertime. And at the time I was like, oh hell yeah. I'm going to be
dope.
Steve fucking Irwin someday. And this
Cool
is how it
snake.
starts, with my cool snake that's like purple and white. It's awesome. And I had it for like a year maybe 2 years, and it grew and it shed its skin, and I fed it baby mice, and it was awesome. Except for the part where it was like, all right, all I want to do is hold this snake, and I'm a kid, so I'm a little bit afraid of it still, and it fucking hates people, so it tries to bite me all the time, and I'm like, this isn't fun. I just look at it, and most of the day it hides in its house because it doesn't want to get burnt up by this lamp. And we have to feed it mice all the time, and when we forget to feed it mice, it gets pissed off and it wants to bite us even more, and I have to clean up its poop and try to not get bit by it. And I think I was just too young to be a snake dad at that point in my life.
Yeah.
And so that's what made it a bad present.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
You could have traded that in. You could have traded it into Ollivander's and picked up a new child.
A cool snake that like
cool
really
snake.
just wanted to just fucking hang out with me all
Just
the time.
wants to get high and like fucking
dude,
chill with you.
Hell yeah. One of those pythons that just like they sit like a tree boa. They just hang out in the trees all the time.
It's called a hython because
it
is fucking blaze.
Nice.
Eventually,
Right
I
on.
had the presence of mind to be like, look, I can't be the good dad that I want to be to this snake. Let's
Did you
go
flush it in
donate
the toilet?
No, I donated it to a pet store so that it could find a good home. I regifted it.
How were you
Back
able
to
to
Olivander's.
handle it and get it out of its terrarium?
I think I just gave him the terrarium.
Good move. Hey, there's a snake in here. Can I have $50?
I don't think I even took any money. I was just like, please give this a good home. His name is Bambi.
You
Nice.
named a snake Bambi.
Yeah, because he was a little prince. He was a baby king snake.
Oh,
Hello, little prince.
should have named him Aragorn.
I didn't know
The
a whole lot
prince that
about
was
Aragorn
promised.
when I got the snake. Otherwise, I would have.
Well, also it would have been
So-
fitting because of Aragorn's ring.
Yep.
Yeah.
What? The snakes eating each other. So if we're putting our sort of like worst Christmas gifts into like a 12 Days of Christmas kind of song, we got like the three shitty mice off for my snake. What was yours, Evan, again? Oh yeah, $200. One ex-girlfriend.
Da, 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 da.
Nice.
Pretty much.
That's the 3 days of shitty Christmas.
Shitmas.
Oh shit, miss.
If
Which-
only we would have gotten orphans.
Which I think is going to be like new Hanukkah for orphans, is the 3 days of shitmas.
It's true. But other than the other 362 days that are good.
Yes. Every other day is just pure bliss for orphans, except when they're being traded like football players.
Orphans can go to the bar because they
Pokemon
can't get kicked
cards.
out.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Explain.
Because so if you try to go to a bar when you're a kid, people yell
Yeah.
like, "Where are your parents?"
Oh,
I
you're
don't
right.
have any.
Yep. And then you can
I'm
just
staying.
drink in the bar.
I guess you have to serve me. I'm a customer now.
Yep. I'm
Do you have any
yours.
money? No.
You're my dad now.
I'm in your domicile. Like you're my dad. Give me alcohol.
How are you going to handle this one?
Hey, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much
Absolutely.
to listening to us. If you're still listening, if you're just kind of going through the motions, it's okay. We all are.
Yeah.
I hope you had a good Christmas or Hanukkah or other Festivus or Saturnalia.
Or 3 days of
Yo!
shitmas.
Yo,
3 days of
Saturnalia!
If you listen to this the day that it drops, happy Christmas Eve. Have a great night. Don't forget to put cookies out for Santa Claus.
Fun little tradition. My family likes to goof on Santa, and last year I think I left out mayonnaise and soy sauce for Santa. Funny guy here. Anyways,
I bet he ate it too because he didn't realize until it was already gone.
All right, everybody. We will see you for New Year's Eve. Is that right?
Hey!
yes, indeed.
We're going to partay.
Yep.
All right, Derek. I think as a Christmas present to you, I think you should take us out of here.
I have been Sir Derek, the Knight of Ethics.
I have been Evan Klein.
And I have been Ben DeHart.
And orphanages will be billing you.